things. Back in 2000, Arizona voters approved a bipartisan commission in response to extreme redistricting. The independent system took the power away from the controlling party in the state house, which of course has been a problem. The legislature sued. Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg wrote in her majority decision that Arizona voters sought to restore the core principle of Republican government. The voters should choose their representatives, not the other way around. A dozen states around the country have developed redistricting commissions similar to the state of Arizona. The ruling says legislative power and process can be exercised by the people through direct democracy. The decision today upholds boundaries drawn based on the 2010 census. Joining us tonight, Sam Wersinski. He is the Executive Director of Arizona's Advocacy Network and Foundation. Sam, good to have you with us tonight. I know that your organization played a big deal in this. Not to overstate it, but do you think this is a game changer when it comes to power in the House of Representatives? Could this be a linchpin to this whole thing?
I think this throws our opponent's game plan off course, so it's very important that this decision came down in favor of voters and not the politicians that, as the justice in the majority says, wanted to choose their voters, but rather voters choosing their representatives.
Now that's interesting. Citizens United came in long after 2000. This was an issue in Arizona for a long time. Give us a little history here and what evolved.
Well, we've seen over time in Arizona, as the politics have become more and more extreme, our legislature trying to usurp the power of the voters, which is seated in our Constitution, to legislate directly through the ballot. And as our legislature has become more extreme, the voters have taken policymaking more into their hands more frequently, Ed.
Well, in Arizona, do you feel like Arizona is paving the way for the rest of the country, that this is the true model to make sure that there's not social engineering to guarantee election turnouts?
Yeah, I think Arizona is a leader in this. There are other states, as you mentioned, that have some form of independent body to help with redistricting. I think the western states are leading this effort. California has a similar independent redistricting commission. This really is designed to be an independent, nonpartisan body that looks at the best ways to advance a representative democratic form of government. And we've seen that with our congressional lines. We have 3 of our 9 congressional seats extremely competitive. There's been times when those 3 competitive districts were held by all Democrats. Today, 2 are Democratic, 1 is Republican. They can go either way, depending on the mood of the voters and how well the candidates speak to the issues.
I mean, I go around the country and people talk about the gerrymandering, the grip that the Republicans have in the House, and they really see no way out. I mean, I'm surprised that this ruling by the Supreme Court didn't get more media attention. I think this is a blockbuster decision. So what's next for the Redistricting Commission in the state of Arizona?
Well, really, the status quo remains as it is, which is a really good thing, Ed. We have the congressional districts that were drawn in 2010. They remain as is. We know that our Republican majority had hoped to redraw those lines through a special session. That is not going to happen now. I think, as you said, this is a major decision for the country. Advocate organizations like ours around the nation realize this. I think we also should be helping viewers across the country connect the dots to this particular challenge by the Republican legislature to the money that backs it. You know, it's interesting, Ed. There were 2 amici briefs submitted on behalf of the legislature. One of them is the Coolidge-Reagan Foundation. The chairman of that foundation is Sean McCutcheon. That was a huge money in politics issue last year that gave oligarchs and billionaires the ability to buy more influence with unlimited money. They submitted an amicus brief on behalf of politicians rather than supporting the will of voters.
This is an interesting story, no question about it. There's been so much gerrymandering going on and some of the craziest district lines that have ever been drawn up, social engineering across the board, and hopefully this kind of commission system will put an end to it. A big ruling by the Supreme Court, no doubt. Sam Warszynski, great to have you with us tonight. Keep up the good work in Arizona. Thanks so much. And that is the Ed Show. I'm Ed Schultz, Politics Nation.